let's have your thoughts in one direction only, and if they are wavering thoughts, then let it be. But don't convert your thoughts into your words and start talking to people. So we will start with what we don't know first. Then we will start the actual work, what we don't know. What we are going to learn and what we are going to talk about, what we are going to work on, this is the pre-state of that. The state of ignorance. Since you guys are not born just now, you guys are born many years ago, and many things you have not worked on, many things you have not done properly in your life. We all have, including me as well. So what is that state is called? Is the state of ignorance. Because it is not that if we have lived 35 years or 40 years that you did not have an opportunity to know what you don't know today. You had an opportunity always, but you decided to ignore that state. You had every point and every opportunity that you could have learned this what we are doing today, and you have invested or wasted that time doing something else. Anything and everything what happens in our lives it has a direct connection where we invest our time and nowhere else. Wherever you invest your time, that's the only thing you will get in return. Now the state of ignorance refers to a lack of knowledge, understanding or awareness about something significant. This state can manifest in various forms such as being uninformed, choosing to remain unaware, or even dismissing opportunities to gain knowledge. Ignorance isn't inherently negative, it's natural not to know everything. However, when left unchecked, it can have serious consequences. So what is happening here is basically lack of knowledge, understanding or awareness about something significant. This state can manifest in various forms such as being uninformed, choosing to remain unaware, or even dismissing opportunities to gain knowledge. We are not talking about Bitcoin over here. We are not talking about NFT here. We are not talking about one new trend which you guys are not aware. We are talking about most basic things: how to sleep, how to eat, and how to move your body. That's basically your mental health. We are talking about most basic things. We are not talking about anything which you have never heard and which you are not aware since your childhood and people have not spoken around you. And if you still chose to stay unaware of it, whose fault it is? Totally it's your fault and no one else. And this clearly shows that what you possess, the movement of the body, sleeping pattern, eating habits, what you possess, you decided not to know that. Are you getting my point? That this is very serious and in-depth. That it's not someone else is doing and you have never done it, but you have seen people doing it. That's why you decided it's not my job to know that. But this is something you are living with day and night. And you decided not to know that, not to be aware of that, or not to accept it and put your entire focus on the external and not on the internal. That's the state of ignorance. So understand the state of what is the state of ignorance first, and in what areas it has played in your psyche and in your life, in your actions. How ignorance can harm us. Missed opportunities, lack of knowledge about potential opportunities in career, health or relationships can lead to stagnation or missed growth. Missed opportunities, lack of knowledge about potential opportunities in career, health or relationships can lead to stagnation or missed growth. That's a number one, that how it can harm us. Second is poor decision making. How many of you are suffering today with your poor decision making, that anything you do and say like, oh shit, we were not supposed to do this and we should have not done it. All of us? Good. Then this is absolutely for you. You're at the right place. If you would say like, no, I am always making right decision, then definitely this is not for you. So poor decision making. By the way, before so this is not like I bought a book and I have got all of this. So I have studied all of you in past 1 year. Some people now, some people more than 1 year. And then whatever your requirement, what you're looking for, is just that only. If you say like, no, it's not for me, trust me, it is for you. I have studied you well. And I know where you lack. So it's somewhere, somehow you will find it's for you only. And you will find like Manish always says, Yasir, how did you know that I was thinking this? It's not, I knew that what you were thinking. I just study your behavior. I know what you could think and what you could do and what you would do. So, poor decision making without the right information or insights. People often make choices based on assumptions or misconceptions, which can have long-term negative effects. Repetition of mistakes, ignorance of past failures or lessons leads to repeating the same mistakes, wasting time, energy, and resources. Hindered growth. Ignorance can create comfort zones, making individuals resist change, innovation, or self-improvement. Emotional toll. Being unaware of solutions to problems can lead to frustration, stress, and sense of helplessness. Economic impact. Ignorance in financial matters such as investments or budgeting can lead to significant monetary losses. So this is how ignorance can harm us. The cost of not knowing is unavoidable, and the way you choose to pay that cost determines your journey. One way to pay is with time, and while this method can build wisdom, it has its own limitation, especially as we age. Welcome to your 30s. So like Ramya says, but they didn't know, na? They didn't know, you didn't know. Basically, it says, I have wasted my life and I didn't know. Now, if it is that easy to say they didn't know, then tell them, can you give me my 20 years back? If you didn't know, why did I pay the price with 20 years of my life? Because I want my 20 years back. Can you give me even my 20 minutes back? 20 seconds also you cannot give, right? So, if they didn't know, that's not my problem. If they didn't know, they should have known. Because who will bring my 20 years, 30 years back if they didn't know? So it's not that easy to say they didn't know, as if like, it's not their fault, it's some nature disaster, something happened. They didn't do anything. No, they did everything. They chose not to act. They chose not to know. So if they didn't know or you didn't know, it's entirely up to you. Why you did not know? So the cost we pay is very high price. Paying with time. Learning through personal experiences is a natural path to growth. You make mistakes, learn lessons, and refine your approach. Over time, this process develops wisdom, emotional resilience, and a deep understanding of life. However, there are inherent challenges tied to this approach, especially as you grow older. This is the best way to learn, paying with time. That when you, like majority of my life, I have done that. Almost all, 99.9% of my time, where how I have learned is basically how I have, where I have spent my time and invested my time. And today all that I teach you guys has come from my own experiences and the life I have lived. Yes, it was very hard, very difficult. If you would read something like that, what I have done, maybe it will take you 2 days or maybe 2 weeks to learn all of that. But I took 20 plus years. And when I say that I have taken 20 plus years, it's not just 20 plus years of being in fitness, but if I tell you the mental health and the mental toughness exercises or the practices I have done, it is around 30 plus years. So if I am 35 years old, since the age of 4, I started practicing that. My struggle and hardship started from that time. So it is, the experience is 30 plus years. So that's why it's very important that you understand that it didn't come just from by reading a book, and you will never learn by reading a book. You will only learn by your own mistakes, or if someone who has done like me, then I can practically teach you, me or people like me. It can be your parents also. Some opportunities or activities are bound by time. For example, starting a professional sports career at 50 or pursuing certain physical goals comes harder with age due to physical limitations. Time constraints may restrict the feasibility of pursuing specific paths. So decide what you are, what your goals are, at what age. It's very important. For an example, which I will tell you now, especially if you are female, and if you are setting your goals of your career, your financial goals, your materialistic goals in your 30s and 40s, and if you are not married but you want to marry, and if you don't have kids, that's going to be a waste of time. Because once you lose that time, you need to always evaluate your goals. What goals come at what age? You should have set these goals when you were in teens and your 20s. Now if you're going to set those goals and you're not married also, and your 30s, and you're worried about your marriage, and you're worried about your partner, you're worried about your what and how you are going to deal with your life, and if you're setting wrong goals at that time, it means you're going to invest that time into pursuing those goals. So all that time is going to be invested there, where your responsibilities lie somewhere else. So it's very clear that what goals you set at what time, and don't try to catch every bird, everything you see. Every bird you see, don't try to catch that. You will be the biggest loser in life. Catch one bird at a time with your full focus. That we will work in our goal setting. That how you set just one goal at a time and not multiple goals. People who set multiple goals, they never achieve anything. And these are the ones who every new year they have new year resolution, because they have multiple goals every year. Some people don't even start. So some opportunities or activities are, okay, this is age related, as I have already explained that what is right and wrong for you. At the same time, if you are a man and you have 2 kids, 1 wife, and your responsibility is financial freedom or financial gain, but you are investing time with your friends playing video games or cricket, obviously you are not investing time until unless you are not a professional cricketer who is making millions and billions of dollars. So it clearly like you are wasting your time, and where what your goals should be, you are not investing those goals. Same way, if you are staying up late at night, partying, drinking, and you know your goal should be to work on your health because you are overweight, you are fat, and you are not healthy, your brain is not working properly, and you're not sleeping properly. So what your goal should be to fix your sleep first and your health. So right goals at the right time, right age, that's the art of living basically. That should be the bullseye. What is the requirement in which era of your life, which time, which, you know, those 7 years, 10 years where you should focus. If you have built your business and constantly building your business all the time and struggling in all areas of your life, it means you will just keep getting better in business only, which will have no end. Because I don't know if anyone, even the multi-billionaires, cannot tell me that this is enough, that I don't want any more money, and my business I don't want to do anything new. Either you have a couple of thousand dirhams, or you have a couple of millions or billions dirhams. You will always look for new ideas and new challenges and new ways to make more money. So that never ends. So that's why it's very important. But of course, you will not find multiple ways to produce kids, multiple ways to have life partners, families, and regain your parents and have different parents. It cannot happen. So always evaluate what you're trading with what. If you're trading something which is so shallow as money and material, and you're replacing it with your life partner, your kids, your family members, of course you're going to suffer big time, because your mind does not work properly, and you will always have, then everywhere you will put a band-aid of money only. Everywhere you will put a band-aid of what you can fix with money, because you don't have real solutions of the problem, because you don't understand the real solutions. Everywhere you will bring just money in between to fix that problem. Slower neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and form new connections, tends to decline with age. This means learning new skills, especially those that require significant rewiring of your brain, like mastering a language, coding, or a complex physical skill, can take longer as you grow older. Longer adaptation period. The older you are, the more ingrained your habits, thought patterns, and behaviors become. Unlearning old ways and adopting new ones often takes extra effort and persistence, further increasing the time required to succeed. That's why I always tell people that for me it will be very easy if I will teach kids. That's why many parents think like, oh Yasir, you don't have kids, so you don't know. Trust me, I know, I'm dealing with you. Trust me, I know. Because you can have one kid, one child, or two child, or three child, but I am dealing with you, you are like 30 child in one. Because that one child is 2-year-old, 5-year-old, 6 years old, 10 years old. If you are 40-year-old, imagine those 5-year-old child, how many are there in you? So the older you are, the more ingrained and habits, because now the kids cannot fight back. If I will make them understand, they will understand. But you are fighting back, even if you agree on my face, but internally you are always fighting back, because your ways of living and your ways of dealing with situations, you always believe that is right. That's why yesterday, whoever was there in my car with me, I was telling Niggi that when you traveled, she told me that when I traveled, so it was having McDonald's or having a beer, that's how the trip used to start. But the way she said it, it's like she still feels the tone. Maybe she doesn't, but the tone, she still feels proud of that, what she did. Until you have that tone and you are not ashamed that you have done that, and that's how you are paying the price of all. I mean, that's what she's doing right now, paying the price by fixing her lifestyle and by fixing her. That's a very good thing. But at the same time, if that tone still says that that was right, whoever will listen, think, if there is a child, will think that, oh, that's what I also need to do now suppose if she's a mother or anyone, now I cannot do with my parents, but when I will travel alone, I want to try that. I also want to try that what happens, how it will make me feel. And there are certain habits that it makes you feel, majority of the habits, they make you feel amazing in the beginning. That's why you are hooked on to that. They will make you feel superb. Right? Or you started actually any habit that it was making you feel very bad, but you still did it and you are addicted to it now. Did you do it? Any of those habits? Did you felt horrible doing it? But you still did it because you were feeling horrible, so you wanted to feel more horrible. But today you are addicted to that and your life is just miserable. It doesn't work that way, right? You feel amazing when you do it. And why that child who is listening to you will not adapt? If you felt amazing and that child, just a thought of it, because you are trying to build that discipline around that child, and someone says like, I used to do this and it was this and that, the tone, just the tone, a child would think like, suppose if I am there and trying to build the discipline, I am wrong, and that child wants to try that, because everyone he sees at the airport is doing that only. So what I am saying will automatically become wrong in his eyes, and once he will try, and if there is a friction between me and him, he will only fall for that. And if he has two people supporting him, khalas, gone. He is trapped for 20 years until he decides that now my life is a waste and I cannot do anything else. I look horrible, I feel horrible. Now I want to change. But you don't realize that you lose 20, 30 years in that vicious cycle. And I know everyone, especially in today's time, men and women, they both want like amazing life partners, but they don't look deep inside. What do we offer? What are we serving to the other person? They don't realize that we are serving 30 years of failures, disappointments, negativity, and that shows in your body, on your face. But expect everything as if like you're the king or the queen. The implications: if you rely solely on learning through personal experiences, that the time cost can become increasingly steep as you age. While wisdom grows, the ability to adapt quickly diminishes, potentially leading to regret over missed opportunities that could have been seized earlier.
Can you repeat this?
Yeah, sure. I will repeat it many times. Your life is repeating right now the same thing. I will repeat it many times until you understand. If you rely solely on learning through personal experiences, if you decide that now I want to learn from my personal experiences only, and you decided that at a very young age, or you tell your kids that, beta, don't go to a good teacher or a mentor, or don't listen to me, just learn from your experiences. It is possible, yes, they can, depending on what kind of environment you're setting up for them. It is possible, but what happens when you lose time? If you rely solely on learning through personal experience, the time cost can become increasingly steep as you age. While wisdom grows, the ability to adapt quickly diminishes, potentially leading to regret over missed opportunities that could have been seized earlier as age grows. Yes, that's why we are doing this. I'm not asking you to go and live your life without me teaching you. I'm teaching you from my experiences, my learnings. That is why the mentorship comes. Where the mentorship comes. If you are trying to constantly go round for multiple years, better you work with one person who can help you achieve the same thing in 6 months' time or 1 year time, at least give you the clarity that what you should do and what you should not do. Because if you are not learning that, you are still losing your time. You're losing your age. And you don't just lose age, but you also lose the ability to adapt faster with age. Balancing time with mentorship. To offset these challenges, it's often wise to combine time-based learning with knowledge gained from others. What you just said. Mentors and coaches leverage their years of expertise to shortcut your learning process, bypass unnecessary mistakes, and adapt more efficiently. Focused learning, use structured programs or system. That's what we are doing. Use structured programs or systems that accelerate the learning curve, helping you stay competitive regardless of age. Okay? I'll repeat. Focused learning. Use structured programs or systems that accelerate the learning curve, helping you stay competitive regardless of age. Lifelong curiosity. Consistently engage in activities that stimulate your brain, like reading, problem solving, or exploring new hobbies to maintain neuroplasticity. So what we are doing is at the highest right now in this whole trip and this whole program. This is at the top because we are rewiring your brain. This is called mind coaching. The cost of not knowing. What is the takeaway? Paying the price with time builds invaluable wisdom, but as age increases, it becomes more critical to optimize how you spend that time. If you would have done it in your childhood, faced all the challenges, struggled, left your country, left your city, left your parents, yes, this would apply. But everyone who I see over here in this age you guys are, I don't think anyone is less than 30 over here. Manisha, how old are you? 29. Huh? 27. So apart from Manisha, there is no one who is under 30. So you clearly know where you stand. You are standing on time bomb. Paying the price with time builds invaluable wisdom, but as age increases, it becomes more critical to optimize how you spend that time. It becomes more critical and optimize how you spend that time. Combining experiential learning with mentorship and education ensures you achieve your goals faster with fewer setbacks, even in later stages of life. Even when you are in 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, always look for challenges or the people who can set such programs or something for you where you can grow. So this is the state of ignorance. All that what I have explained, I want someone to make me go through that, not just by reading your points and all. I don't want to know about the points. I want to know how much did you understand what I have just explained. Vicky?
I think my last statement was kind of what is continuous curiosity and problem solving can help me engage or keep my neuroplasticity engaged. And then what it means is not always just reading and like reading books and case studies is going to help you learn something. And it's important to learn from other people's mistakes. We take this very lightly, I think, and end up doing the same. Like, if somebody said that this is not the right path to go, we are actually more inclined to take that path.
Yeah.
Even I want to try this. Like this, when you said this reminded me of my college. When I just, passed from 10th and went to college, that's where I got on to wasting time. Like 2004 to 5, I know when I was in 11th, this was the peak of my, just in your, 17, wasted that entire year. We get hooked on to bad habits, bad company, and if you're saying that 35 is when a man is at its prime, I've already lost that. So I've paid in the most expensive way, which is time. So it's important that now, in my balanced 30s in the next 4 years, I learn from other people's mistakes, learn via mentorship, move fast with a razor focus, and have a stronger push in a very sharper manner by learning through other people's mistakes and not, maybe waiting it, seeing if 4 people have gone that direction and it's a wrong way. Wait, it's okay not to do anything than doing something super unconstructive and unproductive and wasting my balance 4 years before I get onto that wrong track. And maybe choose another goal that might seem that, hey, they tried for 100 but they failed. If 4 people have failed there, you rather try for 10 in another direction and succeed at that 10. So, and one thing you said about goals, and I think I really want to, think about how goal setting is going to be. Is goal setting a number? Is goal setting, very simple, is it a number or it's something else? If it's a number, then I've not learned all this yet. It cannot be a number. It has to be...
It's a state of mind.
Yes.
It's not numbers. So we are going to discuss all that. That's why this is the pre-goal setting work we will do. That's why I'm preparing you that how the goal settings are, how the goal setting is going to be for you, and how your brain function while you are doing that goal setting, and how your brain pursue it, and what are the elements to pursue it if you really want to pursue or if you don't want to pursue. For an example, if I ask you to go from here, right now we are in Ubud, then I ask you to go Canggu from here. Let's say if it is 10 kilometers from here, and I will also tell you, you will find this obstacles. Don't look there, don't get involved there, don't engage over there, because you are going to waste your time, because I want you to reach there in 1 hour. That's how I have already. So you need to prepare your mind that what will be the setbacks will come, where you have to stop, where you should not stop, what you should do. Because just doing goal settings, many people just do the goal setting, create the vision board, but they don't actually practically do it. Because practically in life, when you will live through those 1 year, that 1 year or 6 months or 3 months, even 3 weeks, what will happen in your life? You don't see that, you just set the goal. But without knowing that how your lifestyle is and how you are going to live through this time, that is more important than you setting the goal. Otherwise it will become just very unrealistic, which you are not going to achieve. And you will just write it because it's trendy, because it sounds cool, it looks cool, it looks good on your social media, and it looks good when you talk to people. Yeah, I have set 2025 this and this, that goal. First of all, if this and that goal is yours, why are you even opening your mouth and telling someone? How can you tell someone what is your goal? It doesn't make any sense, because you are wasting those 5 minutes or 5 hours or 500 hours telling someone, then achieving it where you should be achieving it. Why are you telling someone? That's why I always tell people that why social media wastes so much time, because where you could be putting into work, you are just spending time showcasing what you could have done instead of doing it. Why do you want to show? Who cares? People just get jealous. They don't care. And maybe they will achieve and you will not achieve.
Yeah.
If you will show, you will give them the direction that that's where you should go. It's like, oh wow, actually I saw it, but you will fail and someone else will achieve. And that is the sign that you need to protect your dopamine and utilize it properly, right? So write it down, this point.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So going back to the point of learning from other people's mistakes, I feel like I have certain instances in my life where I've sought advice from someone and they told me, no, don't do this, don't do that. And I feel like that could be their pessimistic energy. But I always have felt, not always, in a lot of cases I've always felt, okay, that happened with you, but I still want to do it because maybe, my intuition says that it is the right thing, and if I have to fall, I will learn the lesson. So I'm ready to face the consequences. I assess that. But if I feel strongly about something, despite someone else telling me no, I've still done it.
Yeah.
And the success rate would have probably been higher than what they said. So my point is that, I'm asking, not always can someone else's mistakes necessarily guide you because you're two different people.
You're right. But that's what I said, in which age you are in. Like, one of my most successful attempts in my life was always against my father. Whatever he said don't do, I did that. Because I also assess his lifestyle and his behavior. That is your number one definition that who you are listening to. And I did everything against and the opposite of that, because my father failed in all of those areas and he was giving me the advice in the same area. I did the opposite and I succeeded in that. But I was in my teens when I decided to do that. So your basics needs to be fixed in your teens, not in your 30s. Most basics. So every time he said about work, every time he said about job, every time he said about finances, every time, because I know that he has failed in all of that. Why would I take his advice? And if I wanted to succeed, just do the opposite. Don't think, don't listen, just do the opposite. Everything he said, don't. I said, this is my sign. This is what I'm supposed to do. If you are a cricketer, if you will give me advice of soccer, what you're saying not to do, I will just do that only. It's very obvious. It's very obvious. So this is, if my mom, if she gave me advices of something which is related to not feel or don't feel or live like this, with this discipline, so I just did the opposite. Because my mother, she would always operate from the place of care, and she would always operate from the place of her son is going to be feel pain and difficulties and hardships. That's what I'm supposed to do the opposite of that and not fall in trap of the emotions and the motherhood, because that's where I will lose, I will fail. Do you understand? If I will fall in that trap of that care and having that the safe life, because every mother would protect that, and I was supposed to do the opposite, and I did the opposite. So, but always question yourself, what is your age in that time? If you are going to be like that in your 30s, it's going to be very difficult. In 40s, and it's going to be very difficult. So the basics needs to be clear at a very young age. And the same thing now, if you don't want to learn from your parents in the older age, you can always find and pick the people who have succeeded in those areas first. If they have not succeeded, if they have not done anything, like many people who come to me and they look for business coaches and life coaches. Those business coaches, life coaches have never invented or have never done any businesses, but they are coaching. And they come to me and say, yes sir, you just do the weight loss and muscle building, but they fail to focus and see that I'm a very successful businessman also. I have succeeded in majority of the areas in my life, especially when it comes to business, when it comes to money. I'm very good with my finances. I have never asked anything from anyone when it comes to money related things, that I need this, or can you help me with this. I don't take loans. I don't operate from the banking system. I don't use credit cards. I still have abundance, enough money that I don't need to seek for these validations from anyone. And the same people are always working with these coaches and learning, but they don't see that these coaches, what they have done and where they have grown their business. They don't. They have just read the book. If you are learning from a teacher, from a doctor who has never practiced, just imagine what kind of a doctor you will become. Now if you are going to learn from one of the AIMS or someone like who is the owner of that, then it's not just learning, it's a mentoring. That person is not just teaching you, but also mentoring you, practically and theoretically, both ways. And you need to pick right people to work with. And if someone is just sitting there and read one book somewhere and then, okay, fine, tomorrow I'm going to teach you this. What do you mean by that? That you're going to teach me this? How do you know? Do you question them? How do you know? Like I have given you one example when Negi asked me that my first learning was not to be like my father. And I understood that at a very young age. What was my biggest pain point in my life and all of us in my family members, was my dad only. And that was, I undo. And it's not something is right. It's a very good thing. Thank God that he was like that. Because if he was good, then I would not have known all that. So how you channelize and how you utilize everything for positive. So your learnings are there. And it's not like you blame them, oh, you spoiled my life, dad, you did not know anything. No, that's right there's lessons. You don't need to talk to them or tell them anything. Just observe and do the opposite. One thing is understand, even if the person have succeeded, you may not succeed. Even if the person have failed, you may not fail. Because sometimes people give up when they're just about to succeed. Mostly. When they give up, they're just about to succeed. But you need to evaluate that. Be careful, huh? This is not born. But you need to evaluate that, where you stand, who you are, what your lifestyle is, what you're going to do, and where you should give up. So for me, I'm not looking for success. My success is mental resilience, so I just don't give up. If it is in my favor, if it is not in my favor, I don't care. My whole idea is to build that mental resilience.
But how do we navigate through this?
So why am I telling you to have an awareness early in your life? Now you cannot go back in time and have awareness, right? So that when your child comes, you have the awareness. That's why I'm telling you guys this thing. If you are raising kids, have the awareness and don't be the parents like you had. And they did not know. But understand one more thing is that equation of life is not the same recipe of life. That everyone will live the same life. But by having awareness, number one, you will be guilt free. At least that will, because you can only, that's why I said when anyone says that you make money in this time so that you can give better future to your kids, who knows if you will even have kids? And who knows your kids would even require money. Maybe they would require your time. But you condition your mind that your kids will require money only. That is, so you living your life guilt free and have no regrets is something that's what your awareness is for, not for your child. When you know that you are doing right, you should have the clarity of mind. That is for your child. They want the clarity. They want the confidence in parents. They don't want the parents should have all the answers. They just want what the parents are saying in their, after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, they are still living by that. And they are still living a good life. That's what kids will watch. Kids will not watch that whatever you say and you yourself suffer in that. They will not do it. They themselves will not do it. So, but by that time it will be too late. That's why what you are saying, having child or having kids without proper understanding of life is wrong. Because in this equation, someone needs to take the blame. And whoever is taking the responsibility to do the job, the first initiative is responsible. And it initiates from husband and wife. That's how the kids are born. Whose choice it is to bring kids? Husband and wife. Who are responsible? Husband and wife. The parents are responsible. So if you say no, they are not responsible, that you did not know, it's their problem, no? Because I think all of us, our parents are very religious, right? How come they don't know how to eat and how to sleep and what to do? Because that's what religion teaches. How come they don't know that? How it is even possible? Then what about the religion they are talking about and the life they are living? They are two different things. It's just the ego they are living. They're not living the real religion also. Any religion. Not just Islam, not just Hinduism, not just Buddhism, not just Christianity. Any and every religion, it's a routine, basically. Anything you follow religiously. The actions and the habits you build and the routine you follow religiously is what religion is. So if they are just teaching you to be Hindu or to be Muslim or to be Christian, but they're not living by that and they're not teaching you the most basic, because every religion teaches how to eat, how to live your life, what time to sleep and what time to wake up, all of that, it's in every religion. So they were just asking you to follow this religion for their personal and selfish reasons and not for you. It's very clear. Any religion is just ego and the support they get from the community, and not they want to do for you or for themselves. So that is why it needs to be very clear that what you, as I said, your the men who actually become good men, the men who actually become good men are the ones who have lived in misery, who have lived a hard life, difficult life in their young age. Later on, they just become very intuitive. You cannot become intuitive if you have no experience and if you have not gone through hardships. you will never be intuitive, because and it's not like you need to have an experience in any and every field and everything. But what you need to have, because the basics are the same, the emotions are same. Your intuition comes from the emotions, and emotions are the most basic emotions. If I trigger you, I can say something to you, maybe the words will be different, but you will be triggered on one emotion only. That is anger. There is no other emotion. I can say in 1 million different ways to trigger the same emotion. 1 million different ways. So it doesn't mean that I have 1 million different problems. No, my problem is just how to channelize my anger. I mean yours. Your problem becomes just that one. I can say and I can show my care, like many men, women these days fight. My husband never says that I love you. But then husband says like, when you woke up, didn't I ask you like how you slept? So what does that mean? Didn't I ask you that how you feeling? What does that mean? Didn't I ask you that can I do this for you? What does that mean? So there are many ways that you can show love than just to say I love you, because that is the most stupidest thing that you can do, that you or continuously you just verbally just say something and it doesn't show in your action. This is the stupidest thing you can do, the most stupidest thing. That's where people even have gotten divorces for these reasons and spoil their life and expect this from someone else, and then now they have to settle because the other person also is not saying that. Then they say like, now we are wasting time, we are wasting our life, at least just settle with whatever we have, because the other person is also not saying that. So what happens there basically is what you're saying, it can have 1 million different ways to say that, but it ignites the same emotion, love. Jealousy, you can get jealous by multiple ways, but it will only ignite. So that's why intuition comes on these 5-6 emotions only. If you have the proper control over these 5-6 emotions, it means you will become intuitive in life. But you have to be in different, like it's like chess. It's not like you have learned, okay, fine, this is the script of the chess. No, if you are playing with the opponent, which is your own mind, it will have different equations and different moves. So you just need to learn the basics and then you play. How focused you are in that, and you will be able to play better. It's that simple. So that is the. Any other question on the state of mind, the state of ignorance?
I like your idea of the different pens. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You know what one thing you say is the person who sees a lot of challenges and tough time is a person who's
Right
probably
kind of
more
mind.
acquired wisdom, or a person who's very old.
Yeah,
And the same thing is actually even written in all the religious books also.
yeah.
These are the two people who are the most wise. They've seen the most challenges at a very young age, for people who are really old. Because they've seen other people choose to be.
Exactly. And see, the idea is when you will become older, you will have wisdom. But the idea is how soon you can acquire that wisdom. If you're in your 20s, oh wow, amazing. If you're in 30s, ultimate. 40s is still good. But if you are after 50, you're talking about wisdom. And if you don't have it in after 50, then shame on you. Even if you have it after 50, then क्या उखाड़ लिया? भाई जब ज़रूरत थी तब होना चाहिए था ना. That's the time you are paying now. अभी wisdom तो आएगी ना, obviously आएगी. 50 के बाद 60 के बाद wisdom नहीं आएगी तो और बचा क्या फिर आने को? तो कौन सा आप अभी बच्चे हो जाओगे या यंग हो जाओगे कि 50 के बाद आपको समझ में आ रहा है? So इसीलिए the people who are losing their weight and they are trying to be healthy in their 30s, अरे भाई तुम्हारा पूरा जो body के cells जब टाइम पे बनना था, वो टाइम तो तुमने पार्टी करने में निकाल दी. वो टाइम तो पूरा इग्नोरेंस में निकाल दिया, अपने आप को 30 मार खा समझ कर कि मैं तो ये हूँ और मैं वो हूँ. All your 20s and 30s are gone. I'm now 30s, you are trying to lose weight. तो अभी क्या उखाड़ लोगे? अभी तो तुम सर्वाइव करने के लिए कर रहे हो. This is your survive. You don't have an option ना. You should pick what is right for you when you have multiple choices, but you know this is what I need to do. I want to do. When you have जब तुम्हारे पास ऑप्शन ही नहीं है कुछ, अब तो भिखारी को मिले भीख जितनी भी मिले ठीक. बेगर्स कैन नॉट बी चूजर्स. अभी तुम बेगर हो तो जो मिल रहा है बस रख लो चुपचाप. बचा क्या अब लाइफ में?
Not sure, but when I reflect back, a lot of people who lived in hostels,
हाँ.
grew up studying in all the hostels, probably done better in life.
Yeah.
Because they went through a lot of challenges. at a very
Yes,
young age.
yes. The younger age you go through challenges, the better it is. But that's where it goes, because आज आप parents से पूछो. For an example, if I ask you, भाई तुम 90% of your money is you're going to leave for Ivan, but then how will he face challenges? He will face challenges by spoiling that money for sure. क्योंकि वो उसको बनाने में तो नहीं, because तुमने बना तो दिया सब कुछ. अगर तुम कल को बिलियनर बन गए और तुमने, विच आई एम श्योर दैट विल बी योर गोल, अगर तुमने अपने बच्चे को दे दिया सब कुछ, तो उसके चैलेंजेस उसको अक्वायर करने में, होल्ड करने में नहीं रहेगा. उसका चैलेंजेस रहेगा कि इसको बर्बाद कैसे करना है. क्योंकि चैलेंजेस आएगा कहाँ? वे विल बी द चैलेंज. If Elon Musk's father would have done all of this, he would not be Elon Musk today. So that's what, तुम अपनी लाइफ क्यों बर्बाद करो? अपनी लाइफ जियो. You should live your life, not to waste your life. कि आप किसके लिए कर रहे हो. एंड दैट्स वेयर इट गोज़ कि आजकल लड़कियाँ जो होती हैं वो चाहती हैं एक हमें एक रियल मैन मिले, हमें ये मिले, वो मिले, फलाना मिले, ढिमाका मिले. दे हैव डिज़ायर्स टू be with someone who is like that physically strong, mentally strong, successful, blah 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 blah, and they themselves are successful. तो उनसे पूछो कि तो आपने why did you become so successful if you were looking for a successful man? Why did you make such money if you were looking for such the individual who is that successful in the society and his business and all that? Now they would say like, no, I don't know, but that man must also be looking for something, na? If that man is looking for your success, then what kind of a success you are chasing? If he is looking for your money, then what kind of a man you want? That what kind of responsibilities he will be able to take? If he is waiting for a girl to pay for his whatever he wants, then where is he successful? So that question is also very important, that where you are investing your time, all your energy, all your businesses, and still expecting a real man in your life. Why a real man will come if you have done everything for your life? What he will do?
Why can't both be successful?
That answer you ask your man. I cannot answer, because I am not that man who can have a woman who is busy and who is successful and who can pay for my bills and for my things, for my life. Because then why am I working? Because there has to be a chase, ना? एक चूहा पिंजरे के अंदर जाता है चीज़ खाने के लिए. अगर उसको चीज़ बैठे बैठे मिल जाएगी तो पिंजरे में जाएगा क्यों? वो वहाँ जाके अपनी जान भी दे देता है, वो मर जाता है. लेकिन अगर आपने वो चीज़ उसको ऐसे ही दे दी, लो ये रही, that man will have no testosterone. He will be useless man. लोग वॉर्स पे जाते थे क्यों? जाके अपनी जान भी देते, अपनी फैमिली के लिए, अपनी प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, अपनी कंट्री के लिए. They used to go at war. But now आपने कोई वॉर ही नहीं रखी, कोई फाइट ही नहीं रखी, उसको कुछ करना ही नहीं है. So as men we thrive, our testosterone thrives with difficulties and challenges. But कोई challenges ही नहीं है. भाई मेरी बीवी के पास ही अगर बेंटले है तो मुझे ख़रीदने की ज़रूरत क्या है? और अगर मुझे ख़रीदने की ज़रूरत नहीं तो मैं काम क्यों करूँगा फिर? क्योंकि काम करने से पैसे ही तो कमाया जाता है, और क्या करना है मुझे? तो मैं फ्री में काम करूँगा ना, तो मैं तो दान करता हूँ सब कुछ, तो इक्वेशन ही बदल जाएगा पूरा. अगर मैं हर चीज़ दान ही करना है मुझे, तो मेरी वाइफ बोले कि तो मैं काम क्यों कर रही हूँ फिर? अच्छा मैं सब कुछ करूँ, तो शी विल ऑल्सो क्वेश्चन दैट. तो वो पूरा जंबल हो जाएगा, एवरीथिंग विल गो रॉन्ग. So that's why it's but this topic is something which is very depth, that I believe that you guys should study on your own, because I don't want to become that horrible human being in today's time, because that's what I will look and I will sound like if I will say more. Yes.
Present in our childhood or in our teens, we don't look up to our parents, or further you can say our elder siblings in the house. At that age group and with that growth of mind, we feel that they are the best, or this is the best that they could have done. It's only like now I'm in my 20s, I realize what were the things that went wrong. So those many years that went, I learned it later. And yes, you learned it while you were in that particular era of life. And so you could make it. How do we know whom to learn from? Because in an age like this, everyone showcases that they are the best.
Yeah.
Like for example, if I want to transform in terms of my physical health, in Dubai there are n number of programs. How do I decide to choose that yes, this one is the right one, or this is the person I need to follow? Because everyone is showcasing their right.
Yeah.
So what are the qualities that I will know that okay, yeah, this is a person worth learning or relying knowledge out?
See, I can answer this very easily, but I would put a question over your question so that you understand it better. Let's say you are looking for a man to marry, right? One person who has got money from his father. One person, there are three options you have. One person who has got money from his father, okay, and is still doing that, of course. बाप से पैसा मिलने के बाद ही थोड़ी बिजनेस नहीं करेगा, तब भी ऑफिस जाएगा, उसे लगता है बहुत मेहनत कर रहा है, 12 बजे ऑफिस जाएगा, 4 बजे उठ जाएगा जाकर. देयर इज सेकंड ऑप्शन जो बहुत कनिंग है और वो दूसरों से काम कराना, मैनिपुलेटिव है, दूसरों से काम कराना बहुत अच्छे से जानता है, बॉस बन के बैठा हुआ है और मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स कमा रहा है, एंड ही इज़ वेरी शैलो, ही विल सेल एवरीथिंग टू मेक मनी. ऑप्शन 2, वो भी बहुत रिच है. ऑप्शन 3 आपके पास रहता है एक एक बंदा है जो बहुत कोशिश कर रहा है, स्ट्रगल कर रहा है, बहुत डिसिप्लिन है, और आप देख सकते हो कि उसका स्ट्रगल आपको दिख रहा है, बहुत सक्सेसफुल पैसे में नहीं है, लेकिन वो अपना टाइम वेस्ट कहीं नहीं कर रहा, वो टू द पॉइंट प्रिसाइजली काम कर रहा है। हो सकता है उसके पास 4 गाड़ियाँ ना हो, एक गाड़ी चला रहा हो, डिसेंट है, लेकिन उसकी हैबिट्स जो हैं बिल्कुल टू द पॉइंट दिखती हैं आपको। किसको चूज़ करोगे आप शादी करने के लिए?
Before I met you, option 2. After I met you,
ऑप्शन 3, क्यों?
because now I understand the time, effort it takes to do these small things that
Exactly.
look small,
एग्जैक्टली
but have a very big impact in your character building.
एग्जैक्टली सिंपल। तो जब आपको किसी से देखें, चूजिंग योर हस्बैंड ऑल्सो चूजिंग द पार्टनर हु कैन टीच यू फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ। If you don't have that you look up to him, that he can teach you, please do not marry that person. For the rest of your life, you have to learn from him. And if he has nothing to teach you, do not marry that person. I'm telling you right now, it will be a disaster. If you cannot look up to him, if you think your ego is very big and you make more money and you have this and you have that, you are better than your husband, please do not marry. Why are you putting yourself in that fire? If he says leave everything, just leave everything. अभी सन्यासी बनने का, सन्यासी बन जाओ, तभी शादी करना, तभी खुश रह पाओगे। Because you need to look these things only in him. Same thing, who you want to learn from, you need to watch these things. That what this person is selling and showing, is this person living like that or no? That's number one.
I want to put
Yes.
a small point. The other day when you were talking, you told me that a person who has a routine and a person who has discipline has everything, and a person who doesn't have it, he has nothing.
Yeah.
So it stayed with me for a long time in my mind, and then I kept thinking over it, and yesterday I was talking to Amara about it. So I think that applies perfectly in all areas of life.
Yes.
Even if you're looking for a partner, or probably anybody.
Anyone, yes.
And if you have to gauge anybody on that level, I think, yeah, because a person who has discipline and who's, really working hard to get somewhere in life, even though whatever he's acquired is probably minimal, but he'll make his way through any which how.
No, but see, that should not be your goal only ना भाई।
Yeah,
see, अगर आपके आदमी के पास $1 million हैं, खाना तो आप इतना ही खाओगे ना ब्रेकफास्ट में, इससे ज़्यादा खाओगे तो गलत हो जाएगा आपके लिए। तो उसके $1 million का आप करोगे क्या भाई? आपको तो सिर्फ बेसिक देखना है अपना। Once that basic is clear, your life is sorted. And the kind of a person he is, by living his life, and he or she, whoever, it needs to be very clear that otherwise वो millionaire हो या billionaire हो, आप खाना उतना ही खा सकते हो, 7-8 घंटे 9 घंटे ही आप सो सकते हो, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं सो सकते। एक टाइम पे आप एक ही गाड़ी चला सकते हो, आप एक ही सीट पर बैठ सकते हो। अगर 50 सीट पे आपको बैठना है तो आई एम सॉरी, यू हैव ऑलरेडी स्पॉइल योर लाइफ। यू कैन सी द साइज ऑफ यू एंड व्हाट यू विल डू विद दैट। सो व्हाट यू लर्न, हु यू लर्न फ्रॉम, it's in his lifestyle. It shows that कि मुझे इस इंसान से सीखना है। अगर मैं आज एक इंसान जो फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल कि मुझे अगर बिज़नेस सीखना है, अगर मैं बिज़नेस सीखने उस इंसान से जाऊंगा जो इंसान पिछले 20 साल से कैशियर सीट पे बैठा हुआ है और उसको इन एंड आउट हर चीज़ पता है, और 12 घंटे 15 घंटे रोज़ बैठता है वो जाके वहाँ, और उसको उसी से सीख सकता हूँ बिज़नेस। उससे अच्छा बिज़नेस कौन से, जिसको मार्केट की इन एंड आउट पता है। अगर मुझे किसी से लाइफ लेसन्स अगर मुझे सीखना तो उसी की ज़िंदगी सीखूंगा जिसने कि ऑल एरिया, बिकॉज लाइफ सिर्फ बिजनेस नहीं होता, लाइफ सिर्फ शादी नहीं होता, लाइफ सिर्फ बच्चे नहीं होते हैं, लाइफ सिर्फ फिटनेस नहीं होता है। मुझे ऑल एरियाज़ ऑफ लाइफ के अंदर मुझे सक्सेस कहाँ दिखती है। जिस इंसान ने अपने पेरेंट्स का भी ख्याल रखा हो, जिस इंसान ने अपनी प्रॉपर्टी भी बनाई हो, जिस इंसान ने अपनी इतना सिक्योर करा हो कि उसकी फैमिली सिक्योर, ही कैन लिव, जिस इंसान ने अपनी फिटनेस को भी सही रखा हो, अपने डिसिप्लिन लोगों को इंस्पायर भी करा हो। मैं अपने बारे में बात नहीं कर रहा वैसे यहाँ पे, लेकिन आई मीन दैट्स व्हाट यू सी इन अ मैन। और जो इंसान हम्बल भी हो, अगेन मैं अपने बारे में बात नहीं कर रहा, जो इंसान हम्बल भी हो, बट दीज आर द क्वालिटीज़ दैट यू नीड टू सी, बिकॉज आई ऑल्सो वॉन्ट टू अक्वायर द सेम क्वालिटीज़। आई पर्सनली लुक फॉर दिस थिंग कि भाई अगर मुझे कुछ अच्छा होता है, हाउ आई स्टे स्टेबल, कि मेरे सक्सेस मेरे सर पे नहीं चढ़ना चाहिए, या फेलियर से मुझे डर नहीं लगना चाहिए। फेलियर से मैं डरूँ ना, और सक्सेस को मैं सर पे ना चढ़ाऊँ अपने कि आज तो मेरे पास ये है और आज मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं है, हाय मैं क्या करूँ अब। दोनों ही चीज़ों से मुझे बचना है। सो आई प्रैक्टिस दैट। समटाइम्स आई मे फेल, But if you guys notice, I keep practicing and keep pushing myself in that direction only. कि मैं ख़ुद को ऐसे, तो यही एक क्वालिटी आपके पास ये है कि आप ऐसे सादगी, हम्बलनेस, काइंडनेस, जनरसिटी इन ऑल एरियाज़ ऑफ लाइफ, नॉट जस्ट इन मनी. तुम्हारे बाप ने अगर 1 बिलियन कमाया है तो उसमें जनरस रहना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. जाहिर सी बात है, कितना भी जनरस रहोगे ख़त्म ही नहीं होगा, क्योंकि तुम जितना लोगों को दोगे उतना वो तुम्हारे लिए कॉन्टैक्ट्स, ये वो तो सब कुछ ला के देंगे तुमको, उतना तुमको पैसा उल्टा आता जाएगा वो. सो आपको उस टाइम पे आपके लिए क्या है, जब आपके पास पैसा बहुत ज़्यादा है, टाइम, तो आप कितना टाइम दे रहे हो इंसान को. दैट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. एक भूखे को आप, अगर एक इंसान मर रहा है तो आप उसको सिर्फ पानी और खाना खिला सकते हो. ये नहीं कि आप ये 50,000 dirham लेना है, या जाओ जाके अरे भाई साहब मैं तो यहाँ से उठ ही नहीं सकता, चल ही नहीं सकता, मुझे नहीं ले जाने का मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है तुम्हें कहीं, लेकिन पैसे दे सकता हूँ, तो वो जनरॉसिटी नहीं है उसके अंदर फिर. So all these areas you need to see, and again it's not just your husband and your wife, but also people who you want to learn from, because the person cannot have a very black heart, dark side, dark heart, and then expect के वो तुम्हें कुछ अच्छा सिखा दे. नहीं सिखाएगा, वो बुरा ही सिखाएगा तुम्हें. सिखाएगा लेकिन बुरा सिखाएगा, गलत सिखाएगा. वो हमेशा वही सिखाएगा 1 के 2 कैसे बनाना है, इसको 420 कैसे करना है, इसकी टोपी उसके सर कैसे करना है. वो गलत चीज़ें ही सिखाएगा. वो सिखाएगा ज़रूर. तो सिर्फ सीखना इज़ नॉट इनफ, सही सीखना इज़ इनफ. क्या आई एम लर्निंग अ लॉट फ्रॉम हिम एंड फ्रॉम हर, बट क्या आर यू लर्निंग गुड और बैड? क्योंकि कई लोग तो बहुत बैड चीज़ें बहुत अच्छे से सिखाते हैं. आप उनके साथ 5 मिनट बैठ जाओ, आपके देखो प्लान्स ऐसे बनेंगे. आज रात का क्या प्लान है, कल सुबह क्या प्लान है, हम कहाँ जाएंगे, क्या खाएंगे, क्या पिएंगे. और फिर आप जब क्वेश्चन करोगे इस इंसान के साथ मैं बैठा और जितने भी मेरे प्लान्स बने, क्या ये मेरे प्लान्स मेरी लाइफ के गोल से अलाइन करते हैं, मुझे सही इंसान बनाते हैं या गलत? मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द टाइम यू विल फाइंड कि वो आपको गलत इंसान बना रहे हैं. जो ईजी प्लान्स होते हैं वो ऐसे ही होते हैं. फ्री फोकट के अंदर अगर किसी ने आपके प्लान्स बना दिए, वो ऐसे ही मिलेंगे, और उसमें ज़्यादा लोग आपको सपोर्ट भी करते हुए मिलेंगे. चीप, एग्जैक्टली. चलें, लेट्स हैव ब्रेकफास्ट.